Good afternoon and welcome to Lariat TV News Today. I'm Noah Tor.
And I'm Julia Lorenz. Thanks for joining us today. Baylor is the only school in the Big 12 without a chartered LGBTQ+ organization on campus. Just last night, a bill supporting these students on campus was passed in Student Senate, but this does not mean a charter will be granted. LTVN's Kennedy Dendy was there and has more details about what this bill entails.
A bill written and presented by San Antonio senior Paige Hardy was passed Thursday night in Student Senate that allows LGBTQ+ groups to gather and operate on Baylor's campus. While the passing of the bill does not grant a charter for LGBTQ+ organizations, Paige said that this is a step in the right direction and will spark important dialogue for everyone on campus.
I think the important thing is the message of the bill and the heart of the bill, and I purposefully kept it vague because I know I don't have all the answers. I'm not the director of student activities. I'm not a member of the Board of Regents. I didn't write the statements on human sexuality and faith statements.
Included in the bill states that, quote, allowing organizations of differing views to organize on campus encourages discourse which benefits the entire student body. In addition, the bill also states that, quote, Baylor is the only university in the Big 12 without a chartered LGBTQ+ organization.
I was afraid of how my fellow students would view me as a Christian supporting the LGBTQ+ community, but I think as they have supported me, I realized that I need to support them.
Hardy said that she wants to change the narrative of tragedy being the only way for change.
At the very least, it's starting a conversation that needed to be started a long time ago.
This Senate resolution passed after much discussion and important conversation. For Lariat TV News, I'm Kennedy Dendy.
Matt Walsh came to speak to Baylor students on Tuesday despite the controversy surrounding his topic of why the politically left is changing the way society perceives gender, life, and marriage for the worst. His main point was that heterosexual marriage and homosexual marriage are not equal. During his speech, there was a peaceful protest against the fact that Baylor would allow a speaker like Walsh to come to campus. Fort Worth's Zachary Miller, the chairman of the Baylor Young Americans for Freedom, the group that hosted Walsh, invited anyone who disagreed with Walsh's beliefs to come to the speech, and they were even encouraged to cut to the front of the line during the Q&A session.
Baylor student government elections are officially open for voting as Baylor seeks to elect its newest student body leadership team, class officers, and class senators. Voting is open for students from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on April 11th and 12th on Connect. Current external vice president Salone Simpson is running unopposed for student body president. Brooke Beard, a junior majoring in political science, is running unopposed for internal vice president. Stuttenhauser, Alan Bond, and Breanne Bates are all running for external vice president. Ballots are open for class senators and class officers, and results will be announced when voting is complete.
A few weeks ago, Samantha Josephson, a student at the University of South Carolina, was killed after she got into a car that she thought was her Uber ride. The backseat doors were child locked, making her unable to escape from the car. Uber said they've been working with law enforcement to educate the public about how to avoid fake rideshare drivers since 2017. LTVN's Sarah Gill asked students on our campus what safety tips they have before getting in a rideshare service.
In light of a recent tragedy at the University of South Carolina, I asked Baylor students about their experience with ride sharing and what tips they have for staying safe.
They have where you can share your ride with your friends and they can track you, or just communicate hey, this Uber's picking me up here, dropping me off here, and then also not just getting into any car, asking who are you here for before you get in the car, because they can see your name only if they're your driver.
I think the biggest thing for me is just whenever I do Uber, it's normally with a big group. I don't really Uber by myself a whole lot, and so just being with other people I think lowers the risk of anything bad happening.
Well, for one, we make sure it's the same color of the car, and we always check the plate number. And we don't stand outside, because I've heard that if you're calling it from a building, you should stay inside until they pull up and not stand outside, because other people can come and act like they're the Uber. So we never do that.
It's always been pretty positive. I've had a few cancel on me. I've only ever been scared at night.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Sarah Gill.
The Boys and Girls Clubs of Waco offer support and programs for young people, many of whom just want to see a smiling face or receive a warm hug after a long day at school. LTVN's Kennedy Dendy visited the club to find out about how the role of mentorship plays in the lives of youth that they serve.
I
The Boys and Girls Clubs of Waco, one of the oldest clubs in the country and the oldest in Texas, provides a safe place for children and teens to have fun, receive help with homework, and most importantly, where they can find loving and friendly faces that they can look up to.
Mentorship is key for these students. Many of the kids who come here just don't have positive role models that they can turn to at home. So that's a big void that we fill here at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Waco.
Every week, the club provides targeted mentoring programs, and there are plenty of opportunities for volunteers to play meaningful roles in the lives of the youth that come to the club each day.
I really enjoy just being with the kids and get to help with math and reading, which are like essential skills to learning all this harder stuff. And then we get to just kind of play games, have fun, safe place to be after school, and just really enjoy hanging out with these kids. They're great.
There are 3 priority outcomes that exist within the Boys and Girls Clubs of Waco: academic success, good character and leadership, and healthy lifestyles.
We love our relationship that we have with Baylor. Baylor students really make what we do possible by coming out and those students volunteering, helping out with soccer practice, doing soccer tryouts, basketball, homework help, coming out and helping with projects on the weekends. We really can't thank Baylor enough.
It's very important to have a strong role model in your life. I know, looking back at the ones that have been in my life, they really impact you, and being that for someone else is very meaningful.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Kennedy Dendy.
It's pretty well known that college students will go anywhere where there's free food.
When we come back, we have the details about the annual Baylor event that gives students fresh produce. Stick around.
The best and brightest are drawn to Baylor, where those from many backgrounds with many talents shine together before casting their light outward to illuminate the world. Through transformational learning opportunities that are grounded in Christian faith and service, and research that impacts lives and communities. Baylor University, a place where lights shine bright.
One word all college students love is free, and that's exactly what they got on Thursday at the Free Farmers Market. In an effort to end food insecurity on campus, the Baylor Success Initiative office hosted the Farmers Market, and I have all the details on the 3rd annual event. The Baylor Free Farmers Market happens once a semester, and about 35,000 pounds of food is served to approximately 1,500 students. On Thursday, April 11th, students, faculty, and staff gathered on a bright and sunny Fountain Mall to take part in the 3rd annual Farmers Market.
In partnership with the Central Texas Food Bank and the Family of Faith Worship Center, the food is donated to Baylor at no cost.
The goal of the event is to both provide students with food, but also destigmatize the need for food on campus. So all college students need food, just like students need academic support, just like students need emotional support, just like students need physical support with like the SLIC, that students also need food.
To combat food insecurity on campus, the Student Success Initiative office hosts the Farmers Market to create a comfortable space where everyone is welcome to get the necessary resources they need, such as fresh fruit and vegetables.
I come to this pretty much anytime they have it going on here. I think it's a great way to get students not only eating healthy, but a lot of students I think just don't have either time to go to the grocery store or like resources. A lot of students, are financially struggling, including myself. We work a lot and it's hard to pay, bills and whatever kind of, dues you have, and also pay for meals and get good healthy food. So I think it's great that they have this on campus.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Julia Lorenz.
Renowned Mexican-American author Sandra Cisneros visited the Baylor campus on Thursday and shared her story of success. The writer read from her popular book, The House on Mango Street, and explained what inspires her. Cisneros shared her invention known as the 10 x 10 method. She recommended aspiring authors come up with 10 things only they know and 10 things they wish they could forget. Since employing this technique, Cisneros says she has not suffered from any dreaded cases of writer block. Macarena Hernandez, a professor of the Journalism, New Media, and Public Relations Department, proudly introduced her friend to Baylor. Her visit was also welcomed by Chair Dr. Sarah Stone, who emphasized the importance of reading more than just traditional American literature and seeing the bigger world out there of writers.
Staying on the cutting edge of technology is essential for any film department, and Baylor's is no exception.
That's right. Now film students at Baylor have the opportunity to work with the coveted red camera on certain projects. LTVN's Emma Witt found out how this technology gives students the experience they need to advance in their career path.
Like most universities, Baylor strives to prepare their students for the working world, but their Film and Digital Media department has made particularly impressive strides as they equip their students with a coveted red camera. Baylor Film and Digital Media professor Daniel Beard explains the history of the camera and what the founder of the Red, Jim Jannard, did to make it such a success.
He wanted to make an affordable 4K camera at the time when 4K cameras were really unattainable. The functions that they have really make them suitable for a lot of different productions. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're so popular.
Beard also elaborates on the reasons why Baylor prioritized having this specific resource for its students and what makes it so important.
We wanted to have students be aware of the workflows of all these different cameras so that when they got onto a set and they were asked if they could operate this camera, they could say yes.
Baylor film student Andy Riccoti shares his first impression when he heard Baylor students would be able to work with the red camera.
It was one of those things when you hear red, you automatically think, oh, that's high caliber stuff. That's not like one of those dinky little cameras that they give you in PM1. That's what Spielberg must use, or Roger Deakins.
For the Lariat TV News, I'm Emma Witt.
Since 1932, the Baylor community has joined together to celebrate Dia del Oso, also known as Day of the Bears. On Tuesday, campus was packed with activities like swimming with otters to a concert from Calpurnia, whose lead singer Finn Wolfhard is well known for his role in the Netflix hit show Stranger Things. The Dia festivities also included a petting zoo featuring exotic animals such as a lemur, a kangaroo, a tapir, and more. Oklahoma junior Emily Messamore said she was excited to hang out with exotic animals because that's just not something you get to do every day.
Every year, students move into and then out of their on-campus dorms. And there's a local company that works to make this migration run a little smoother. LTVN's Caroline Waterhouse sat down with the creators of Campus Crates, a student-run business that not only picks up students' belongings, but also stores those boxes and then delivers them to their new residence.
The end of the school year is coming up soon, but while students worry about classes and finals, one thing they won't have to stress about is moving their belongings into storage. Student-created and run organization Campus Crates is available to help with the process. Baylor alums Ryan Snitzer and Ryan Robinson created the company in 2016 after having a tough time with the moving out process.
We created Campus Crates because during our freshman move out, we both were forced to store belongings in a friend's garage that summer, and it was a really difficult process.
Co-manager Matt Burton also had difficulty during the migration process that entails, but Campus Crates not only helped him, but also led to something else.
My freshman year moving out, I had trouble storing all my stuff for the summer, realized it was difficult, and me and my dad, we just moved everything out ourselves. And my sophomore year, I know the founder of Campus Crates, Ryan Snitzer, he's a friend of mine, and he reached out to me saying that there's an internship available at the company he started known as Campus Crates. So I applied to the position, interviewed, and eventually got it with my partner here, Matt. And we're now the managers here, and we run the operations and marketing and sales and all that, and we're both full-time students.
The company recently merged with UPS and now offers students who are struggling with the chaos of moving out some ease.
So we believe that merged relationship with the UPS store has best offered summer storage, moving, and our ship-to-school service, which is pretty cool about Campus Crates. We allow students to ship us their belongings, we store it for the summer, and we bring it right back to them in the fall when they get there. So this is really great for incoming freshman students when they're moving to Baylor.
Having a company such as Campus Crates not only helps the students they service, but also the rest of the community during this hectic college migration process.
Campus Crates does offer a service, as you mentioned, delivering stuff to students' dorms. It definitely cuts down foot traffic inside the dorms as well, less cars parked in front of the buildings, less chaos, more elevator space, and usually makes the whole process a little more streamlined and makes it a lot less anxious. Students are a lot less anxious and kind of worried about their items when it's just super easy and it's right there in their dorm.
Campus Crates also provides parents a sense of relief knowing their children are being taken care of during this hard time.
And regardless of whether the parents are coming or not, you don't want to do that heavy lifting. So a lot of parents find it to be really great service, and during final exams, it's the last thing students want to be worried about is moving out.
Reporting for Lariat TV News for Global News Relay, I'm Caroline Waterhouse.
The Lady Bears are national champions, and the whole school has been celebrating since they beat Notre Dame on Sunday.
We'll tell you more about their win right after the break.
The Lady Bears are now 3-time national champions after taking down the reigning champs, Notre Dame 82-81, and LTVN's Elizabeth Tharp has the recap.
The Lady Bears are now 3-time national champions after taking down the reigning champs Notre Dame 82-81 in the final game of the NCAA tournament.
Notre Dame, do I even need to tell you how good they are? They're the defending national champions, can score at all positions. Played a zone against us. I don't think people thought we could score against a zone. We scored a lot of points. Just a great game for women's basketball.
Player of the game, senior guard Chloe Jackson led Baylor with 26 points, along with freshman forward Melissa Smith, who added 14 points and stepped up in Lauren Cox's absence when Cox went down towards the end of the third quarter. Even though the team lost a critical member, senior center Kalani Brown, who had been waiting for this moment her entire career, also stepped up with a double-double of 20 points and 13 rebounds.
I just told her we did this for you, you know. When she went down, I could say we got a little rattled, but we had to pull it together and pull it out for her because we know she was, the whole time, she was coaching on the sideline. She was still involved when she came out of that tunnel, and I just think that speaks volumes of her character. So I was just like, we did it for you, babe.
Melissa Smith, having to go out there and guard a senior post player. You knew they were going to expose her on the defensive end, but she never let it rattle her. She came back, and every time she'd give up a basket, she'd make a basket.
The Lady Bears will now be heading home for some very well-deserved rest and more celebration. Reporting on the Lady Bears for the final time this season inside Amalie Arena here in Tampa, Florida, I'm Elizabeth Tharp for LTVN Sports.
Baylor football and spring, what could be a better mix? The green and gold scrimmage for your Baylor Bears is this Saturday, and you will see some familiar faces, but also some new ones. Head coach Matt Rule has returning junior Charlie Brewer listed as his starting quarterback, with redshirt freshman Gary Bohannon and true freshman Jacob Zeno as his backups. The defensive line has also been a focus this spring, according to Rule. He wants to pressure the quarterback and force turnovers, which was an area Baylor struggled with last season. Catch the Bears in action on Saturday at noon at McLean Stadium. On Tuesday, Baylor baseball fell to UT Arlington 2-1 in 13 innings, despite out-hitting the Mavericks. The Bears left several runners on base in the final inning. Overall, Baylor stranded a season-high 18 base runners during the game. Head coach Steve Rodriguez said despite the tough night bringing in runners, he was happy with how the staff pitched and the fight they showed offensively. The Bears currently sit on top of the Big 12 and are 22-9 overall. Baylor starts their weekend series against Oklahoma on Friday at 6:35 at the Baylor Ballpark.
The #1 ranked Baylor acrobatics and tumbling team went undefeated again in the regular season after taking down the Oregon Ducks. The Bears took the lead in the first event and never looked back, staying ahead of the Ducks for the rest of the competition. In tumbling, senior Kaylee Adams earned the highest scoring pass with a 9.9, and the Bears earned a 95.98, taking the win over Oregon by more than 5 points. Fifth-year head coach Felicia Mulkey earned her 50th career win as a Baylor Bear. The team now has some time off before returning to the mat for the NCATA National Championships, April 25th through the 27th here in Waco. On Wednesday, Baylor women's tennis fell to #6 Texas at home to close out their last home game of the season. The women currently sit at 7-19 on the season, and after making the playoffs last season, have struggled in their matches this year. Despite their shutout loss against Texas, Baylor is 19-8 against UT under head coach Joey Scrivano. The Bears travel to West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers on Friday at 5 p.m. And that's your sports update for this Friday.
Thanks for watching Lariat TV News Today.
We'll see you next week. Have a great day.